which leads to some ambiguity. Mr. Davidson, you wish to respond?
Yes, I appreciate Ms. Patel's attempt to describe what happened, but she wasn't there and she's not correct. The plaintiffs specifically chose not to do a land contract. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't something they are not, they didn't just crawl out from under the, cardboard. They understood what was going on. These people had been tenants before, and they had defaulted on their tenancy. And one of the philosophies was if they had a chance to buy it someday, maybe they would be better. So this was put together, and when Ms. Patel spoke into paragraph 5, it does not allow for the payment. It said if you pay all the payments through 2028, then you would be allowed to buy it for that amount. But it's not like it doesn't say the defendants can come in at any time and pay it. So it is totally a lease. At the end of the lease, according to its terms, they have the option of buying it if they made it. And because of the credit issue, if you look at the last 2 paragraphs, the requirement is that they pay, and they have not paid since May. So they've defaulted on this lease option, and it is a lease. It is not a land contract. They can say it is, but it's not, and they specifically chose not to. I would like to address one other issue. There was a statement in the pleadings that said that they had tried to make the payments and that the plaintiffs had not accepted them. All the payments were made into the Kalamazoo County State Bank, and the plaintiffs never handled the money. They never received the payments, and the defendants just stopped making them. You would also see, to indicate that it's a lease, that the document required that the plaintiffs buy renter's insurance, which they did. And up until May, they stopped paying it. And the only reason that we know that is the
All right,
insurance.
stop that. You said the plaintiffs require purchase rental insurance.
I'm sorry, you're right. The defendants were the tenants. The tenants in this contract were required to buy tenants insurance. It's a lease. They did buy tenants insurance. And until they stopped paying everything in May of this year, they had tenants insurance. And the only reason that the plaintiffs know that they no longer have it is because they got a notice from the insurance company that it had been canceled for non-payment. But again, that's more to protect the contents than it is the building itself. But everything about this is a lease. It's been a lease, and the defendant's attempts to claim it's something else is contrary to the documents. It's contrary to the truth, the history of the relationship, and the clients haven't paid since May, and my client's entitled to an order.
Your Honor, if I could respond briefly to that.
Yes.
Today obviously is not set for an evidentiary hearing, so we
Yes.
haven't received any evidence today on what was or was not the belief of the parties entering into this agreement. Again, we've stated that on its face, it says a personal home and property lease / purchase agreement. The contract is construed against the drafter. And paragraph 5, and I'm going to read it into record if you'll permit me, given its brevity, the lease / purchase period shall commence on March 1st, 2021, and after the March 1st, 2028 payment of $1,140, a final payment of $9,940 will be paid to the owners, and at that time, the property will be signed over to Mark David Hart Jr. and Joanna Grace Green. I'd say period, but there isn't a period there. But that is it. When that final payment is made, it is their property. It's not when that final payment is made, there's an option to purchase the property. It's not when that final payment is made, they will, get an appraisal of the value of the property and pay. At no point in here does it say credit for rent will be applied to this. This is strictly a lease slash purchase payment. And when the final payment is made, it is my client's property, period. Therefore, it must be a land contract because at the end of the day, it's a contract that, if fulfilled, results in the purchase of land. Now, we are very happy to brief this issue, Your Honor, because I believe we will be able to demonstrate in such a brief that a land contract does have various flexibility on who pays taxes and who pays the insurance because of that risk shifting. I have done myself, on behalf of my clients, many land contracts, titled land contracts, where my clients are taking essentially a gross payment and then paying the taxes and the insurance to ensure that those items are met by the landlord or vendor of a land contract so that the vendee doesn't have that burden and their only burden is to make a singular payment. Our point in coming here today, of course, is at the absolute worst for our argument, there is an argument, and this is not clearly a lease. I believe we can demonstrate that both through testimony and through briefing and provision of the law to go further. But I do not think it is appropriate for an eviction. And I do believe that my clients, having paid more than 50% of the balance of the land contract, they have certain unalienable, equitable rights, including a redemption period. I will go further, Your Honor, and I'd be happy to be sworn. I know that my clients made an offer to catch up the entire purchase or the past due payments because I was the agent who made that offer that was rejected.
Who was that sent to?
Your agents.
All right, now, you've each pointed out several things. Nobody's under oath. We're gonna need an evidentiary hearing. And, we also need to make sure we understand the law. As I said, there's a fine line between what is a lease option to purchase and when does it become a land contract. There's also an additional issue. Is there still a marijuana grow operation on this property?
Oh, sir.
All right, I didn't know if there were issues of crop under cultivation. At one point, the thought was it would be a medical marijuana growing operation. It's not currently that now.
No, I haven't been a caregiver under the state law since like I think 2019. Before we signed the contract, they left the provision in there in case I continued later on being a caregiver, but there's no reason to do that.
All right, just a moment. So Angie Price showed up on the Deer Duff case. She was late to her own party.
Yeah, she called. She couldn't get into Zoom.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
She's here now in the background. but,
Oh, okay.
All right. So a very interesting question, more than a run-of-the-mill landlord-tenant case. There's a lot of money involved. Nowhere in here does it state what the purchase price of the property is, which is normally in a land contract. So it doesn't say how much they're supposed to pay. I guess you could extrapolate it from the monthly payments from March 1st of 2021 through March 1st of 2028, which isn't here yet with the final payment. But this doesn't say how much they're supposed to pay. Doesn't say they have the equitable rights of a land contract. So I'm not sure the fact that it's to be shifted at the final payment turns it into a land contract from a lease option to purchase. So there are issues that need to be
Your Honor, for
discerned.
the benefit of the court, we've calculated that it's $105,000, well, $105,700. And part of that calculation is the final balloon payment of $9,940. And I would suggest to the court that leases don't have balloon payments.
Well,
Your Honor.
lease options to
These
purchase
options
do.
do.
All right, anyway, we've got a dispute and we're gonna have to sort it out. The law requires, no matter what we do, we continue this matter. But this needs more than just a regular slot on landlord tenant day. There's also representation that plaintiff or the defendant has offered to pay in full. And this is filed as a termination of tenancy rather than a non-payment of rent. But the way this is filed, the defendant doesn't have a right to redeem the property.
Your Honor, I would indicate that the contract actually provides that the contract is in default if they haven't paid. Paying since May is plenty of time to give them that. So when they come in and say, oh, we have the right to pay it up, the contract has been terminated for their violation to do so. So they don't have a
Well, I'm
right
not
to
sure
come
that
back.
complies with the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act. I'm not sure that's even a lawful clause. But we'll have to take a look at that as well. There's a Truth in Renting Act and the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act, which apply to these matters. And
All right, then throw it out.
so I'm not sure that you can put such a clause in there. But again, there's lots of factual issues and legal issues that are going to need to be determined. And finding a place to put this will be like,
Your Honor, could we just simply brief the court on the arguments about whether it's a lease option or it's a land contract? Because those things come with the four corners of the document. In other words, we don't really have to get into who thought this and who thought that, but we could brief it. And then if you can't decide or you want to hear more, then we could go on to the sort of long drawn out, drama about who thought what and what we did and so forth. But I don't think that's necessary to argue about the
that's
document.
probably a good idea. I'm just stacking them up here while we're, yes. Now, there's no urgency here. One thing I was contemplating is an escrow order. If we're going to continue this matter for weeks or months, each month they're further delinquent. And if they claim it is a lease option to purchase, I'm going to do an escrow order that they pay the rent to the court. So we've got several problems scheduling something on short notice right now. It is November in the middle of Judge Patterson's.
Also point out to the court, one of the resolutions our client is looking to achieve is a redemption period and to redeem the property in whole. And in order to do so, they would have to be in a position where that is available to them to go to a financial institution, indicate that they have that right to redeem and redeem so with the equity that they've already placed into the property with, again, that balance being less than half. So we are not arguing that the rent in a landlord-tenant relationship is being paid. We're arguing to have that equitable position in order to redeem the property because my client is in a fiscal position where redemption and a new financier is much easier to do than what is in his current position, being that they have, assuming this is that equitable land contract position, they have substantial equities in there and just for the purpose of this court, at a 10% interest rate, the principal payment would be less than half the current rental payment.
Your Honor, that's just all made up. There is no right to redeem this, or they would have to establish.
Well,
that they have the right.
he's asking for a right to redeem it. That would frankly be in your client's interest.
Your Honor, we're not allowed to talk about settlement. We've both talked settlement. All these things have been sent out to each other, and it's none of the court's business. I mean, we're not allowed to tell you what we've done, but for them to
Well,
suggest that
generally, it's
we
not
haven't come to
admissible
an
in some
agreement,
circumstance, so,
we have.
um,
My
all right.
clients get it. They're capitalists. They get it.
all right. Boy, I backed up. This has been a really good day. For everyone who's here, waiting your turn, we'll be with you promptly. We've got a case that's got some issues with it. All right, they filed a pleading. Mr. Davidson, you haven't had a chance to respond to it. How long do you need to respond?
The date that you wanted us to respond legally to make a determination on the documents would be a good way to start it.
I got people all over. They got phone numbers, no names. They're getting gas at the gas station.
Why don't we just get together with the clerk and we'll schedule something according to your instructions?
Well, no, I'm gonna give you 21 days. Well, the problem is this takes us into January. Can everybody live with that?
Well, if you ordered the escrow of the rent, maybe. That's a long way out.
Yes, it is.
We're already to May. No payments have been made since May.
Yeah,
That's
good
almost
point.
Close to a year.
Now, if they get what they want, they get a redemption period. If they don't get what they want, your client's November behind, December behind,
They get the rent.
January behind, and then they say, oh yeah, it is a lease. By the way, goodbye. And sorry, we didn't pay November, December, and January's rent.
Well, that's what they're obligated to do. They're living there.
Well, I understand your position. Somebody's
getting a
here by
benefit.
telephone.
There's no windfall.
All right. Well, how long do you need to file your responsive brief?
And Your Honor, just for clarity, we haven't briefed the issue in the way that we would. We filed a
I
response
understand.
to Mr.
There's no
Davidson
direct,
and asked for dismissal,
argument that I'm
like a
sorry, that it
similar
is or isn't.
opportunity.
Yes. All right. Plaintiff has 21 days to brief the issue. Who's on the telephone at phone 509?
Courtney Mercer.
What's your name?
Courtney Mercer.
You keep beeping into the, it sounds like you're running things through a self-scanner. Where are you?
I was checking out at the store.
Yeah, great. This is not very important. You're at the grocery store while we're in the middle of waiting for your hearing. I'm going to remove you. Why don't you log back in when you finish your shopping?
Oh, I'm
And,
done now. I'm walking
all
out.
right. You call back in a few minutes. Yes, it's a matter of great importance. I'll do it important between the time I'm shopping at a grocery store. All right. Plaintiff has 21 days to brief the issue of land contract. The lease option to buy.
Your Honor, if we're going to do that, could we have the defendants file their brief first because they're the ones that are alleging the document be different, and then I can answer it? Because I mean, otherwise I'm filing a brief to defend something that on its face is a lease. I mean, I don't.
All right. Defendant has 21 days to brief it.
Thank you.
Plaintiff has 21 days to respond. And the defendant's going to pay escrow payments starting November. Whatever the document is, calls for payments. I lost it.
I think it's 14.
Here it is. $1,140 starting for
How many payments,
November.
John?
Repeating that last number?
1,140.
Gotcha.
That's the number in the document. And if it is a determination that it can be redeemed, that's gonna go to the principal. If it isn't, then it's up to the court to determine. This isn't a land contract or lease option to purchase until I call it. Saying it's one or the other doesn't make it that. So that's 42 days. Today is November the 7th. It takes us in December, and we'll set a hearing for this. Even in January, we're already full. Well, let's take a look. This is gonna be need to set for a specific time. I think I'll set it for an afternoon. Set it for the afternoon of January the 9th. 1 o'clock, 1:15.
And the escrow payments, Your Honor, are to be paid into the court beginning, like, it's already November.
Start beginning now. I will include November, December, and January, the first of each month.
What happens if that doesn't happen?
Say that again. If
Is there
the
a
escrow
default if it
fee
doesn't
isn't
happen?
paid, you prevail.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna block the entire afternoon. I have a flight to catch out of Chicago later that night, but hopefully we won't be into 9 o'clock at night. Mr. Williams, Mr. Green, Mr. Hart, Miss Green, this isn't clear. Your lawyer has a strong position one way and the other lawyer has a strong position the other way. And the document isn't the greatest. It was drafted by a lay person. It's got some things in it that make it look like a lease, and it's got some things in it that make it look like a land contract. So I need to figure it out. So they're gonna brief it. They're gonna give me the law, both statutory, court rule, and case law. And then we may have to take some testimony under oath on January 9th. I blocked out the whole afternoon. And we'll see. In the meantime, you're gonna pay the payment. If you don't make the payment, they win. If you don't make the payment, it's a lease option to purchase, and you would have 10 days to get out from January the 9th. And you'd lose all the equity you've got in the property. So bear that in mind. All right, Mr. Davidson, anything further we should put on the record?
No, thank you, Your Honor. It is what it.
All right, Ms. Patel,
what's going
anything?
on.
No, thank you, Your Honor. Just that, again, we just want for our client just to do the 6-month redeem so that all parties get a benefit from this contract. That would be the most equitable solution for all parties involved. Thank you, Your Honor.
I thought so too, but apparently the plaintiffs have a different view of it. All right, this will be something to really look forward to in January. You guys are certainly able to continue to discuss the matter. Apparently there have been discussions towards settlement. And but thank you for enlightening me. We'll address this on January 9th at 1:15. Thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Nice to
you.
meet you, Mr. Patel. All right, that'll be good. Everyone else, thank you for your patience. That matter was complicated. Now we've got 15 people in here. First of all, let me talk to somebody who was late to the party. Miss Price, can you hear me? You need to unmute your phone. Keep skipping around. Miss Price, can you hear me? Miss Price, can you hear me? Your phone is on mute.
I got it off.
All right, thank you. You were late for the hearing in that case. The original landlord that owned the property has taken it back from Mr. Deerduff. He had all kinds of people living in there and they were in and out, and the landlord wants everybody out. So they filed a motion to terminate the tenancy. You don't have a lease. There's no lease in your name. The matter has been continued to next Friday.
Monday.
And I don't remember what time I continued it to because they took the file already.
It's on Monday.
Elaine, where did I continue the Deerduff matter to? Do you know, Matt? You're there.
I thought it was the following Monday.
Oh, it's Monday at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Miss Price. It's been continued to Monday, the 17th of November at 2 o'clock. Now, what I would tell you at that time is you would have 10 days to vacate or you'd be subject to being evicted. So essentially you have until November 27th to get out or be subject to being evicted. November 27th is Thanksgiving. The first practical day they could serve a writ of eviction is December 1st. All right, the next hearing will be Monday, the 17th by Zoom at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Or you can always contact Mr. Davidson and discuss it with him. But right now, the landlord wants everybody out of there.
Yes.
All
I
right,
know.
you're good to go.
My heat
Are you
off.
waiting for your turn? I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Erica, would you
Yes.
sit down and be quiet? You're wandering around, you're making me dizzy, you're talking into an open court record. Please
Sorry.
stay in one spot. Ms. Bauer's been gone for an hour and she missed a lot of exciting stuff.
Well, I was watching Matt with
Oh, were you?
great
Okay.
anticipation.
And you've probably seen that issue before, and off isn't often clear. All right, we got a bunch of people here and a bunch of cases, and so let me start by advising all the tenants that are here of what your rights are as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. Let me take a deep breath. At least I can do this to a bunch of people all at once. You are a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, either a termination of tenancy, a non-payment of rent, or perhaps a foreclosure action. If so, you have the right to obtain legal representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If the action is for non-payment of rent, you may be able to get some emergency financial assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, that's Neighborhoods, Inc., or if you're a veteran, perhaps Veterans Services. You do have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you have to tell the court today, or be prepared to file a written demand within 5 days and pay the $50 jury demand fee. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You do not need a judgment against you, despite what they might tell you at DHS. to get assistance. Summons and complaint are sufficient, and you've already received that. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through local community dispute resolution. And if you're interested, we can help set that up. Or you may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that would result in a settlement, in which case we could file what's called a conditional order of dismissal. The actual next case on our docket is the 150 case of Myers versus Parker. And Mr. Davidson is on that case.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Miss Parker is here, I think.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All right.
Mark Parker, Your Honor.
This is Mark Parker. All right.
I'm here as well, Paul Myers.
All right. Can't find my top page. This was filed as a non-payment of rent case. At the time of filing, rent was $3,138 in arrears. So Paul Mayers is here. He kept bopping in and out. I had to let him back in about 8 times. Mr. Davidson, what's the current arrearage in this matter?
Yep, October, November, sorry, Your Honor, I should have been prepared for this. It's 520 more to the 3138. So let me do the addition real quick. I had done it as
this isn't a secret. I'm going to ask you this question every time.
I know. I was prepared. The service fee was $55.40, but I hadn't added in the rent yet.
5540.
3138 plus 520.
All right. How much is the rent through November?
3658. 3658, Your Honor.
All right. And how much are the court costs?
I believe it was the filing fee plus $55.40 for service.
Yes, this would work a lot faster if you already calculated. That's $185.40. If we had both of those together, plus 3658 equals $3,843.40. Mr. Mayers, you agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Parker, what's your position?
I had sent you guys proof of that I was trying to get help from the SERC from DHS. For some reason that had got sent back to me. But I had got from DHS a few days ago a verification checklist that I had to send in my proof of the eviction notice and
all right, very good. When you do that, you're entitled to a 14-day adjournment. Mr. Davidson isn't available next Friday anyway, so that might work out for the best. That would take us to November 21st. And that would be in the morning. Are you available November 21st, Mr. Davidson, at 10 o'clock?
I will be. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Parker, you need to stay in contact with Mr. Mayers. There may be some documentation he needs to fill out. They've changed the law, and at this point, essentially, the landlords must accept payment and participate in this programs. At one point, they didn't have to, but now they need to. You're fortunate if you can get some assistance because the money has been hard to come by, but there's something that you need to know. you need to pay the entire amount of the rent. A partial payment would not prevent the writ of eviction. And we're close to December's period. So through November, it's 3,658. If we add another month's rent in December, it would go up by the amount of the monthly rent, which is 170 a week. So this will go up week by week. That 3,658 isn't through November. It's through what date? Mr. Davidson, do you know?
I'll have it by the next hearing, Your Honor. I hate to take
All
up
right.
any more time. We'll get it straightened out.
All
My
right,
apologies.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
you share this information with DHS. Now, next time, I don't want to do this by telephone. If you can't Zoom in, I want you to come here to the courthouse.
Okay.
All right.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
He has been through numerous organizations, and he's also been through, I thought it was the DHS that called me and said that he did not qualify, he didn't meet the standards that they had set forth, and refused his payment.
All right, that might be-
They refused my payment because I needed an eviction notice, they said.
No, they
So I
haven't.
had-
DHS will say that. The law says you don't need it, and DHS tells people you need an eviction order. So they
Yeah, they told
constantly.
me.
All right, well, we can get you one. We could get you one today, but
No, I
let's
got
see what
one.
our what? You don't need
Go
an
ahead.
eviction order despite what they tell you, but they won't give you the money unless you have one. So we'll sort this out further. You need to discuss that with them. And again, you need to pay the entire amount. So let's say they give you 3,000, you still owe 843. You have to pay the whole thing to cure this. You're still subject to being evicted. 10 days from from November 21st is December 1st. So at worst, you could be looking at an eviction on December 1st. Anyway, stay in contact with your landlord, stay in contact with DHS. And if you can't Zoom in, I want you to be here in person. There's a lot of wind noise in there too. All right,
I'll
Mr.
have
Parker.
Parker
you have
for you next time, Your
questions?
Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. All right, we're a little unclear on that one as to how much rent it actually is. I told them through November, but I don't think that's right. So we'll try to get it.
Yeah, it's not.
All right,
Thanks,
let's
Ryan.
move on to our next case. Thank you, Mr. Davidson. I'll see you next week from Monday. Centerville Mobile Home Park versus Zurley. Mr. Mayers, I'll release you also.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Daniel Landman, P35797, on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good afternoon, Mr. Landman. Have you ever been to Centerville?
I have. It has not been recent, but I did travel there, I believe, for probate court at one time.
Well, you'd enjoy it. Come in the summertime. All right, Ms. DeCenzo is here on behalf of the park. She has been to Centerville.
Tenant is here as well, Your Honor, but she's muted.
All right, I saw her there. Ms. Zurley, could you unmute your phone? Maybe I can unmute it.
I got it. Hear me?
All right. Yes. Also, Meg Bauer is here from Legal Aid.
Good.
This is another in our ongoing series of mobile home parks suing for lot only payment. Lot rent is alleged to be $430 per month at the time of filing. The arrearage was $1,774. Mr. Landman, what's the current status?
Your Honor, the case was filed, looks like it was mailed in September, so October and November now is included. The balance is showing as $3,227.69. Costs are $169.84 for a grand total of $3,397.53.
Ouch.
All right, Ms. Early, what's your response?
I paid them once. They told me they didn't get it. I was behind 1,118. I didn't pay because I wanted some questions answered. She wasn't answering them, and I told her, well, I guess we'll figure it out if we have to go to court. I just have some questions about who actually owns the property, why this is going on at my house, why some repairs have been done, and I don't know anything about it.
All right, well, let me talk about that. You can pay your rent into escrow and,
I did pay it.
and what?
I paid twice. She told me she didn't get it the first time. I paid the second time. I've paid her, I think the total amount was around $3,000. So I actually had credits.
Well,
She's saying
all
she
right.
didn't, it's missing out of my bank.
All right, when did you make your last payment?
So I didn't pay, June and July, I think it was. August, I made 2 payments. The first payment was 1,118, and the next one was $1,238 or something like that. So I actually paid her quite a bit.
All right, so we have a fundamental dispute
If I may,
about how,
the 2 payments in August were both returned NSF. So
right.
there is now rent owed for June, July, August, September, October, and November.
My bank shows different. I
all
tried
right,
to
well,
go
we
through
can sort that out.
Paylease
All right,
and
now,
and I don't know why it's going through both. I have all kinds of extra charges that I shouldn't be charged.
well,
It's 2
we
different
may have to sort that out also. Is the 430, is this total 322,769 just lot rent? Are there other things included like garbage and utilities and that sort of thing?
There's water and sewer, Your Honor.
Yeah, I
There's a
can't
meter
tell the
fee,
way this is
administrative
pled,
fee,
and
there's
so
a small
they can't
tax.
tell either. So this has been a recurring problem, not just at your park, but others. How much is the rent?
I've asked that several times because it went from
All right,
235.
well, Ms. Early, it's not your turn to talk. Plus, I can't see you. You look like you're in a 60 Minutes interview where they blank out the person's face.
Your Honor, the lot rent was $400 a month for July and August, and $440 a month from September forward. So that's,
Well, the pleadings say it's 430.
it would be $2,140 is the grand total for lot rent only.
That garbage can.
All right, how much is utilities?
That's going to be a little more of a challenge for me to do off the top of my head. Water and sewer was $50.23 in August, $49.88.
Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told Mr. Davidson. This isn't a surprise. I'm going to ask you this question every time. Now, Ms. Early, there's a fundamental question of whether they can even do this. They're suing you a non-payment of rent for not paying your lot rent. There is another method to do this called a just cause termination in a mobile home, which is frankly the way it's supposed to be done. If you're late 3 times in a 12-month period, they can move to terminate your tenancy. In which case you would have 10 days to move and 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. That's how it's supposed to be done. But the parks don't want to do it that way. So they're filing these non-payment of rent cases, and the rent is only for the lot. Plus, it isn't all rent. It's utilities and garbage fees and dog fees and garage fees. So I can't tell which is which. The only reason I allow them to do it is so that a tenant like you can redeem the property and stay there. So at this point, I don't know how much you owe for rent, how much you owe for utilities, how much you owe for late fees or garbage fees. And if they get what they ask for, they can only remove your mobile home. You don't have
Already
to
got-
move out of it if you own it.
Yeah.
If it's a just cause termination, you'd have to move out of it. So I just granted the very first one of these. I did an eviction order for one of the local mobile home parks. And so they have a right to remove the trailer. Multiple problems. Many of the trailers can't be moved. And two, there isn't anywhere to move it to. And three, it probably costs several $1,000s to remove it. So some judges across the state have ruled that you can't do this. There are other judges that allow it, and I'm one of them, so the people can redeem it. You can get assistance. This was very prevalent during COVID when there was money, emergency funding to help people pay their rent. I allowed it so the mobile home parks could get paid and the people could keep their trailer. But I don't think the law actually allows for it, and the remedy is unclear. They would get the right to take your trailer off there with you in it if they could find some place to put it. So if it was done the other way, you would have 10 days to move out and 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. So we've got a lot of uncertainty here. Now, no matter what we do, I need to continue the matter for at least 7 days for you to get potential legal advice. Meg Bauer is here from Legal Aid. She's been aware of this issue here and in other jurisdictions that she practices in. Meg, I believe Kalamazoo does allow it.
Yes, Your Honor. And legal aid is of the position that mobile home parks can bring non-payment of rent cases, but exactly as Your Honor has indicated, the remedy is not that they get to remove the person from the trailer and all of their belongings, but simply remove the trailer from the lot.
Well, let's take a look. Now, the other issue, you said, well, I stopped paying because they wouldn't answer my questions. There's a way to do that where you pay your rent into escrow. I think you stop paying for reasons other than that. You claim you've made payments, but they claim they bounced. So if you've got a receipt from your bank that shows that they accepted payment, we'll consider that next week also. But let's
Judge,
take a look. Yes.
Point out, this park charges $175 per month in late fees.
You can't do that on a $430 tenant, $170 a month late fee.
And $60 every time I made a payment, and they took out an extra $100 a couple times that I didn't.
Well, we're gonna have to sort that out.
It's a mess.
They are entitled to bounce check fees and some other things, but they need to tell you what they are. This all just came in as rent, quote unquote rent. And he says rent was $400 a month. Then he said it was $440 a month. The pleadings say it's
payments I'm making. It looks like I own everything over here.
well, I don't know. I wrote 430. Anyway, let's see what the pleadings say. So we've had a lot of cases today that are all unclear. Darn it. I guess I don't know where I got it. So let's look at next week. So what I want next week is I want to know how much is due and how it breaks down. How much is lot rent? How much is late fees? How much is utilities? How much is garbage fee?
I don't
how
have
much
garbage.
are bounce check fees? And then we'll figure out what to do. But the bottom line is it appears you've not paid your rent since May, at least not one that's cleared.
I have transactions. I'm more than happy to show.
All
Meg
right,
should
so
have some of those.
let's assume, Ms. Zerly, that we come up with a figure. Let's say it's $2,000. You would have 10 days to pay the $2,000 or your trailer is subject to being evicted off the park. So bear that in mind. And the only thing that cures it is paying the entire amount. So some amount of money is going to be due, and it's going to be due within 10 days of the day I say it is. Now, whether they'll actually go through with trying to remove your trailer and put it somewhere remains to be seen, because it's going to cost them several $1,000s to remove it. So
If I had somewhere to take,
what?
if I had somewhere to take it, I would have been gone a long time ago.
Yes, and it's very hard to cite an older mobile home. Parks are removing them. This park has put in some newer mobile homes. There are some new models that they've put in there. And this, I've been through it. Every once in a while, I like to see my territory. So I've took a walk through there and somebody's dog bit me in the foot. But other than that, it wasn't that bad. It was a nice fall day. The manager saw it. She saw it happen. Anyway, there's going to be some amount of money due, and it's going to be a hard number, and you're going to have to pay it. But we'll see. So we haven't made a lot of progress, but we're going to try to make some when we meet next. So theoretically, the matter is set for next Friday. We've had so much fun today. We thought we'd try it all again next week. I have blocked out the morning and the afternoon. I could set it for 11:15 and block out the rest of the morning for November 14th. Does that work for you, Mr. Landman?
Your Honor, will this be via Zoom or in person?
Via Zoom.
11:15 is fine.
All right, Ms. Zerly, we're going to address this again. 11/14/25 at 11:15 a.m. Block out the remainder of the morning. There is some benefit to the tenant to have it being done as a non-payment of rent case. It's much, much easier if it's done as a demand for just cause termination. The only question is, were you late 3 times in a 12-month period? I terminate the tenancy. You have 10 days to move and 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. It's much more clear and clean than the way, there's nobody doing it. Not one trailer park in the county is doing it that way. They're all doing it this way.
Judge, I suspect that because the parks, I suspect it's because the parks would like the relationship to continue too, if the tenant.
Well, they can still accept payment after a just cause termination, but during the COVID era, you couldn't get funding. If it was just cause termination, you couldn't get emergency finances. So that's when I first started to allow it. Now I guess I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. Maybe I ought to follow Livingston County and just ban it. Anyway, I've told, you haven't all heard this. I raised the issue at the judicial conference that was held in Detroit in May. And they had a couple of judges and an expert come in and present the case to about 200 district judges. And the answer to the question was, we don't know. We're not clear whether you can do this or not. And they said they either need to fix the court rule or the statute or have a court of appeals case that answers the question. So, as I said, some judges have forbidden it, other judges allow it. Anyway, Ms. Zerly, you're going to owe some amount of money, and it's going to be a substantial amount of money. And when I give you that number, you're going to have 10 days to pay it. So we'll address this further next Friday at 11:15. Would you like to talk to Ms. Bauer from Legal Aid?
Yeah,
All right.
you definitely need to.
What's that?
I said, yes, I definitely need to.
All right, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with her.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put Sean Zerley in that room 1. All right, Meg, you can rejoin it. I think you'll be all right. Ms. Zerley, hit the button that says join. All right, nothing has been easy this afternoon, so I appreciate everybody else's patience.
And Your Honor, I will go ahead and remove myself, and I think Ms. DeCenzo will leave as well, and we ask you to have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
All right, let's hope it doesn't snow too much. I'll see you all on next Friday. Thank you. All right, thank you all for letting me rant a little bit. Mr. Fleeman, are you out there? So Mr. Bradshaw is here.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
John, you've dealt with that question also, I know, in your vast practice. Do you practice in some counties where they don't allow it?
No.
Everybody's allowing?
There was one judge years ago up near Hudsonville who said, I want to see a termination, but every other judge allows the non-payment to move forward.
Have you ever seen them actually remove a mobile home?
I have not. Usually what they do is try to buy them.
Yes, that is usually what happened. Miss Evie, can you hear me? She's been wandering around and wiggling. And all right. Miss Evie was here when I went through the advice of rights. This is the complex at Texas Drive in Sturgis. It's now called Stonehouse Apartments. Is that you, Miss Collins?
No.
Oh, she's in a different.
She has the next.
All right. What's the current arrearage here, Mr. Bradshaw?
The current amount due through the month of November, Your Honor, is $1,702. There's $198.40 in court costs for a total of $1,940. $1,900.40. Sorry. More than happy to do a CD with Ms. Evie, and if she needs, if we're going to adjourn this, if I could get her phone number, that would be great.
Now.
All right, the lot was going on right there. Miss Evie, they claim you owe, and that was so easy, Mr. Bradshaw. You and Mr. Fleeman and now Miss Strong, you've taught them, come in and just tell the judge how much money is owed in rent and costs. And I don't know why that should be so hard, but some of the lawyers prepare a document called a judgment form. But so often they don't know what anything is, and we think around trying to figure it out and adding it up. And I always appreciate your firm's professionalism. Miss Eby, they claim you owe $1,702 and $198 in costs. He's mentioned something called a CD, which would be a conditional order of dismissal. He also wanted to be able to contact you and discuss this. And if you can work out some agreement, he can file what's called a conditional order of dismissal. And I mentioned that in the comments. Is it your position that you wish to stay there?
Yeah. I don't have nowhere else to go right now.
Do you have a job?
Yes.
Where's that?
Everlast Roofing in Howe, Indiana.
That's a pretty good job. That's a company that makes the trusses.
The metal roofing.
Yes, I can see you're there at the plant right now, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna reset this for next Friday.
Okay.
Rather than put your number out over the internet, I'm gonna give you Mr. Bradshaw's number.
I can give her my direct to my desk number. That'll be helpful.
All right, do you have something to write with?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm ready.
It's area code 269 569 7590. So one more time, 269
Yep.
569
Okay.
7590.
Okay.
All right, let me see if you're here next week, Mr. Bradshaw.
We're there in the morning for criminal, but if you've got any.
Yes, I understand you're gonna be here doing some criminal matters. I had to smile when I saw Mr. Fleeman in here. I had a criminal case. I thought it was good for him and it would be good for you. So let me schedule this in the morning when you're gonna be here anyway. So Ms. Strong is broadening your horizons. It's been a while, but it's good for you. What did I do with it? And if the matter's settled, nobody needs to be here anyway.
Right, and that would be that'd be the intent.
All right, let's set this for 8:45, November 14th.
Hello.
Now, Miss Eby, you did a good job of zooming in. You and Mr. Bradshaw are going to discuss this. If you work the case out with a conditional order of dismissal, you don't even need to be here. But if you don't work it out, you need to be here, and then I'll discuss it. And if these numbers are correct, I'm going to tell you that you have 10 days to pay $1,900.40 or be subject to being evicted. So perhaps you and Mr. Bradshaw can come to some agreement, and there'll be a conditional order of dismissal. Do you have any questions?
So next Friday, I have to come to the courthouse?
No, you can come by Zoom once again.
Okay. And at what time is that?
It's at 8:45 a.m.
Okay. Thank you.
In the meantime, you're going to call Mr. Bradshaw at that number and discuss resolving this case.
And if we get it resolved, we don't have to go to court.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good. I think you can do that. All right. Thank you for your patience.
Am I free to go?
Yes, I'm going to remove you. All right, Mr. Bradshaw, you got one more. Vista Meadows versus Courtney Mercer. Is there anyone here on behalf of Courtney Mercer?
I'm here.
All right, your iPhone? Let me.
Yeah.
Well, I got. All right. Wait a minute. I've got. I can't see you. I see some. I think your iPhone.
Yeah, I didn't know how to.
No, you're 509. So let me give you a name. Oops, it's difficult when people just come in by telephone.
Well, it's good for me because I get their phone number.
Yeah, you got it down?
I do.
All right, very good. I try not to put their numbers out there, but. All right, this is Vista Meadows versus Courtney Mercer. And Chrissy Collins, are you the manager of this complex?
I am.
All right, let me get this down, Jay Bradshaw. These complexes change names, they change management companies, they change managers, but Bradshaw firm's been consistent. All right, this is also a non-payment of rent case. Mr. Bradshaw, what's the current arrearage?
Your Honor, the current amount due through the month of October is $1,510. And Chris, if you're looking at your ledger, I reduced the $100 payment. $1,065, so that's why it's $1,510. There's $198.40 in court costs for a total of $1,700.40.
Give me that number again.
Yeah, so $1,510 in rent, $198.40 in court costs, total due $1,708.40.
All right. I'm getting some background noise from Miss Mercer's feed. Miss Mercer, what do you say to that?
I guess as of yesterday, I don't owe anything. I paid $1,400 on October 28th, and then I paid the other $900 yesterday. And I sent a picture of the receipt to Paul, which I think is the owner.
Miss Collins,
Paul was the manager. I apologize, Mr.
Manager.
Bradshaw. I think you might have the wrong ledger.
Okay. Well,
Because I showed a balance owed of $29, but she made a payment today of $505, which could reverse.
you mean
well, let's continue this one also. We'll continue this
okay.
to November 14th at 8:50. I expect this is going to be resolved.
Yes.
Yep.
Looks like defendant has paid.
Yeah, we'll do a dismissal if that's.
Miss Mercer, Mr. Bradshaw has your phone number. He's going to contact you. I want you to also stay in contact with your manager. It looks like almost everything has been paid except $29. And if you paid $550
Yeah, I think I did.
Your money
I did
ahead.
the math wrong, so
I'm going to schedule this for next Friday, November 14th at 8:50, expecting the matter will be resolved.
okay.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
All right. Stay in contact with your manager. If you get a phone number from like a number you're not from a phone call from a number you're not familiar with, it will be a Kalamazoo number from Mr. Bradshaw's office.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
You're
you.
good to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Creeping along, we got Vista Meadows versus Nichols. And I think that's iPhone. Are you Christina Nichols?
Yeah.
All right, let me give you a proper name.
Christy, do you have her phone number?
I do. I don't have it right in front of me.
No, that's fine, as long as you have it.
Yep.
Okay.
This matter was set for 2:25, which means we're about 35 minutes behind. All things considered, I guess could be worse. Manager Christy Collins. This is also a non-payment of rent case. This looks to be market rent of $900 per month. What's the current arrearage?
Your Honor, I'm showing the current amount due through the month of October is $4,040, $198.40.
Through October or November?
This is through the month of November. I'm sorry. Yes.
You said October. I want to make sure we're on the right wavelength. 1440 through November.
Sorry, $4,040 through November.
All right.
$198.40 in court costs. So the total due is $4,238.40 through November.
All right, Miss Nichols, what's your response to that?
That's correct.
What's your plan?
I actually moved. I still have some belongings there that are getting moved out today, but other than that, I'm out of there.
If I may?
What's that?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Ms. Ms. Nichols, this matter is brought before the court for a non-payment of rent without a money judgment, stating, meaning that you can either pay or you can vacate. If you vacate and turn in your keys before the next hearing next Friday, I will dismiss this case, but you need to make sure that Ms. Collins has those keys.
Okay.
All right, now, you also need to give your forwarding address in writing. So when you turn in the keys, you need to give your forwarding address in writing to the landlord. If you do that, they'll dismiss it. Now, they may at some point file an action to collect the back rent, but not in this hearing. This is a possession hearing. So if you vacate, turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing before next Friday, they'll dismiss the case.
Okay.
So I'm going to continue this to 11/14/25 at 11 or 8:55. I expect all these are going to be resolved. I wouldn't set them that close together. And then you can attend to what your criminal matters are. All right, Ms. Nichols, Mr. Bradshaw may also be contacting you, but really all you need to do, finish moving out, turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing, and you're good to go.
Okay, and you said next Friday at what time again?
8:55 a.m.
And I do need to show up for that, even if I do turn
No,
in
if you turn in the keys and your forwarding address, you don't need to come.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
All right, we have one more Vista Meadows matter.
I'm showing two. Oh no.
Oh, two more. We got Quail Run.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
well, sorry. Yeah.
All right, we're plugging away. These are certainly going a lot faster than the ones we had before. The next is Vista Meadows versus Myers. And the title of the case is Vista Meadows versus Greg Myers. Defendant was personally served. He does not appear to be here. Is anyone here on behalf of Greg Myers? Ms. Collins, that's still you.
Correct.
Is he still there?
Yes, he is.
All right, what's the arrearage here?
The amount due to the month of November, Your Honor, $4,875 rent, $198.40 in court costs, for a total of $5,073.40 through November.
Well, he is not here and he's subject to default. You're going to ask for a default?
Yes, Your Honor, I move for default judgment for possession only with a writ date of 10 days from today.
10 days from today would be November 17th.
Thank you. I can prepare that and have that sent to the court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We set your cases closer together because they always go faster.
I appreciate that.
So we set the Bradshaw cases on a 5-minute spread rather than 10 or 15. And so we're plugging away here. Next one is Quail Run versus Eric Christian. And Mr. Christian is here. Mr. Christian, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. How you doing, Mr. Bradshaw?
I'm doing swell. How are you?
Not too bad now.
All right, what's the status here?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. So the current amount due through the month of November is $4,860. There's $200.50 in court costs for a total of $5,060. That's 60.25.
0.50.
50, sorry. Yes, 50.
All right, Mr. Christian, what's your position?
I know I'm behind. I wasn't here for a couple months. I was taking care of some family, had somebody that was supposed to be paying my rent out of my account for me. and that did not happen.
Do you have a plan to get caught up on it?
At the moment, I'm currently looking for a job back here in Sturgis in town so that I can work close because I do not have a vehicle. And as soon as I get a job, I'll start paying the back rent back on it.
Well, that ain't gonna get it. The wolf is at the door and you're close to being evicted.
Yes, Your Honor, I
You're
understand that.
$5,000 in arrears. You left, apparently weren't even there, and somebody wasn't paying the rent. So they're not gonna wait for you to get a job and then wait for you to get caught up on this rent on a monthly installment plan. They're gonna ask you to pay this rent or move out. So that next hearing date will be next Friday. I'm gonna set it for, boy, am I booked up. I'll set it for 8:30.
And Chrissy, do you have his?
What?
I was asking Ms. Collins if she has Mr. Christian's phone number.
I believe I do have it on file. I think I tried contacting Mr. Christian. I'm not sure if his number was working at the time.
Well, Meg's out of the breakout room, so I could put you guys in a breakout room and you can discuss it.
Okay.
But Mr. Christian, we're going to adjourn this matter till next Friday, November 14th at 1 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning. You'd get 10 days from that day to move or be subject to being evicted. That would be November 24th. As a practical matter, probably nothing would happen until Thanksgiving. But you're looking at the very real possibility of being evicted 1st of December. So you should consider that. Have you looked for any place else to move?
No, I haven't. To be honest with you, I didn't know that my rent wasn't being paid at the time until I actually got back here to the apartment and found the notices.
Well, what happened to the money that was going to be used to pay the rent?
The person that was supposed to be paying it used it to pay his car payment.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good system. All right. Well, it puts you in a difficult spot.
Yes, it does, Your
So I'm
Honor.
going to put you in a breakout room with your manager and Mr. Bradshaw, and you can discuss this. But you're in a tough spot. You don't have $5,000 to pay your rent. There'll be another month's rent due. It's $900 a month. This is market rents, not subsidized. As of December 1st, you're going to owe $6,000. And my advice would be you start to look for somebody to move to, but let me put you in the breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you can discuss this further.
And that's my last case for today. So once I'm done.
Yes, it is. Thank you. And then I'll put Chrissy Collins in there. You should automatically be in it. Mr. Christian, hit the button that says join. You too, Ms. Collins. All right, Mr. Reed, you missed a very interesting philosophical discussion about non-payment of rent in mobile home parks versus just cause termination.
I was here. I was taking a nap during that part of it, though I think I may have missed some of
I
it.
don't blame you. I had a guy here this morning. He fell hard asleep in the back corner. He was here on a drunk driving second offense. He had some other problems, but he was in the corner snoring away. And I said, just leave him alone. He's not causing any trouble. You hear him snore every once in a while. And I don't blame him. Boy, it's pretty boring. We had a lot this morning.
And to show you I was paying attention, just on the side note, I do handle dog bite cases, so just throwing that out there to you.
Has the statute of limitations passed? It was last October.
You're good.
Okay.
You got 3 years.
That's good to know.
All right.
Miss Barry, can you hear me? Shauna Barry, you're there in the background.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, there's somebody with cat ears in the picture, but are you Shauna Barry?
Hi.
All right, let me make some notes here. Didn't you used to represent that park, Mr. Reed?
Yes, when Stephen Colleen Hagedorn owned it.
I'll see what I can do about that, TJ. I got a pretty good track record.
All right, Miss Berry, this is also filed as a non-payment of rent for lot only. Mr. Reed, what's the arrearage here?
All right, Your Honor, I'm going to break this down. $2,350 is rent. There's $150 in garbage fee and pet fee. And there's one late fee of $75 for all 5 months that were claimed for a total of $2,575. And then we have court costs and service fee of $179.10 as the total. That breaks down $49.10 for service, $75 statutory attorney, $55 filing.
All right, and what's that total up to?
Total is $2,754.10.
All right, Ms. Berry, what's your position?
Well, I have a job. I mean, I tried taking in the stuff up to DHS to see if they would pay it. They denied my case because I didn't have a job, and I just started my job previous after I took it up to DHS. Other than that,
Well, I would encourage you to take it back. Where's your job?
I work at McDonald's or Wendy's in Three Rivers.
Wendy's in Three Rivers?
But previous to this
morning was on his way to Wendy's in Three Rivers and got arrested for drunk driving. So that happens a lot. Who else lives there with you?
it's just me now. I was living there with my son, and then
I
that's
can't hear you
another
very good. You said your boyfriend left?
No, I was living there with my son, but he up and left. And that's some of the reasons why I'm behind on rent.
All right, he helped with the rent?
Yeah.
Well, I would encourage you to go back to DHS and ask once again. Let's talk about this. The only thing that'll cure this is paying the entire amount. And, but it's a lot easier for them to work with a tenant to stay there than to move one out and move another one in. Especially with this mobile home circumstance. Mr. Reed, are you available next Friday, November 14th at 3 o'clock?
I believe I am. Let me double check on my calendar.
I don't have that. I don't have the money to even try to save it.
Yeah, what
All right,
time?
let's talk about that for a minute. All right, Ms. Bear, we're going to continue this to next Friday at 3 o'clock. Be by Zoom like this once again. Now, ultimately, if you can't pay the rent, they could ask me for an order to remove your mobile home off the lot. You own the mobile home?
No, it actually is. It's in the family. It's my brother that owns the trailer.
So I would say this, as far as the cost, Your Honor, her total cost per month there to the park is only $500. I don't know what arrangement she has with family, if she has to pay a family member for the unit, but that is, in my experience, a fairly low dollar amount for the local area for a monthly.
Well, for this area and the area which we live in. All right, Ms. Berry, my suggestion is a couple things. You go back to DHS and let them know that you're now employed and see if they would be able to provide any funding, or Neighborhoods Inc. or Community Action Agency. Do you want the number for Neighborhoods Inc.?
Yes.
I think it's on the information in the packet.
I don't. Okay, I'll have to go back to it again.
I had it right here. Here it is. All right, here's the number for Neighborhoods Inc. They may also have some emergency funding. But there may be an issue with this because it's lot only, but it won't hurt to ask. Neighborhoods Inc. is, you ready?
Yep.
269-968-1113, extension 132. That's Ms. Whitney Wardell.
Okay.
All right, so let's recap. We're going to convene again next Friday at 3 o'clock. You have to pay this entire amount or you're subject to being evicted, meaning they can't take you out of the trailer, but they can take the trailer off the lot. You have to pay the whole thing. Now they can agree to work with you. They don't have to ask for the writ of eviction for 56 days after I order it, and another 56 days after that to serve it. So they have 100 days or so that they can work with you to try to get caught up in the matter, but it's in their discretion.
Right.
They can agree to it, but they don't have to.
Right.
All right. Do you have any questions for me? Mr. Reed, thank you for sending me a judgment, so I'm ready to go if we need to.
Welcome.
All right, what I did with a lot of this stuff today is kick the can down the road. I don't know if you were present during the discussion in Mr. Davidson's case about what was a land contract and what was a lease option to purchase. There's a question without a clear answer. Maybe we'll get some clarity. All right, Miss Berry, you're good to go.
Question. How many days
Yes.
do I have? How many days do I have?
Well, right now you don't have any amount. I haven't set it yet. We're gonna meet next Friday, the 14th. If they get what they asked for, I would give you 10 days from that day, which would be November 24th. As a practical matter, because of the Thanksgiving holiday, nothing would probably happen at the earliest until December 1st. Then they can give you wiggle time after that. But if you can pay this whole thing before December, you're squared away. You can start with a clean slate on December 1st. All right, do you have any other questions?
No.
All right, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Meg, next week, I think you're gone next week.
I'm here next week, the week after.
Week after.
Yeah,
Mr.
I was
Reed's
going to
not
be.
He's got aged out, but he'll be here. All right, Rebecca, you're good to go. I've set morning and afternoon for the next couple of weeks to try to keep the landlords as current as I can. So we're going to have very busy mornings and very busy afternoons. Makes more of my hair turn gray, but we'll get through it. All right, TJ, thank you.
Thanks, Judge. Thanks, Meg. We'll see you next week.
Likewise, have a good weekend.
TJ, thanks again for your help with that case on short notice.
Oh, not a problem.
I haven't heard that he got rearrested. He did decline any and all services from Pivotal. And I'm not sure where he is, but we'll see what happens next.
Well, maybe he'll take ownership of a property somewhere outside of a jurisdiction I represent. So it might make things simpler.
Maybe Indiana would be a great location for him. All right.
There you
thank
go.
you.
Thanks, Judge.
All right. Well, I've lost my voice. I'm shaped like a shrimp. And we've got some matters unresolved. But that finishes every case that I was given to deal with today. So we'll take our leave, try to make sure we can clean up all our paperwork. Everything went so quickly. There's probably a lot of unanswered issues. So we'll be in recess. Once again, our first line, and I guess our last line of the day. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know. It's been coming for some time. I'll be back Monday with a whole bunch of more stuff to do. Thank you.